Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka like Queen Lisa, and Johnny is back. He went down the shore. He came back up the shore. I don't even know if that's the right terminology, but he's back. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what Bix has been warning us about. And Trump just made a filing. He might have walked some people right into a trap. We'll see what you guys think about it right after this. Hey, Johnny, welcome back.
Lisa, what's up? What's up, everybody out there? How's everybody
Great
doing?
to see you. We missed you. But you're looking fit and tan, back from the shore.
Definitely fit. Or definitely tan. I hope I'm looking fit, but that's
All the
everybody else.
things.
I feel
All-
fit, but that's I guess though believe it or not, I gotta come clean. I felt better probably not lifting weights as much. Like my body didn't hurt. My body hurts more like lifting. I feel like I'm always
Well, because you're tearing it down, I guess, lifting, and then it needs time to rebuild, right?
I feel good like my mind feels good lifting, but like when I was just doing like yoga a few years ago and like I felt like freaking Gumby. Like I was like my joints felt great. Now it's like my mind feels good from the lifting, but like I'm always like always in pain.
I understand. There's this thing in me that makes me think I want to run. And then every time I do, I'm like for days afterwards, why did I do that to myself? I don't know.
Remember my advice is that running really isn't the best workout.
Right. You talk about walking on an incline.
Walking on an incline.
Right? Yeah, that's what my husband does too.
I would walking on an incline or sprinting or do like a walk run. Do like lifting light weights. Any type of like body weight stuff is good. Yoga is good. Pilates is good. So things like the straight jogging. Some people have done it their whole lives and they're just used to it. And I wouldn't recommend those people not to do it. Like they're getting a good
Right.
Everybody's body's unique. Like some people could do stuff and it doesn't affect them, but then other people it does. So whenever like people like me recommend stuff, it's kind of just we're looking at like the averages of people. Like, there's always an exception to the rule.
My body prefers thumb yoga and ketos by the pool is what my body prefers. I will tell you that. I don't know how it's going to work out for me long term, nice. But a little thumb yoga and Tito's by the pool is my.
You know what? I watched a quick thing last night, and a quick thing that everybody can do that's just good for overall health is just squatting down and sitting in like a crouched position.
Mm-hmm.
Say that particularly like Americans and like Western society doesn't do that enough, and that's a natural position for people to go in. Like I guess in like India and stuff, people go in that position all the time, and it just enhances a lot of blood flow. So that's just something easy that people could do just for overall health and wellness. Maybe like a couple times a day for like 30 seconds to a minute each time.
That's interesting. I guess that's like with aligning your chakras and all that kind of stuff too. John Collard is all mad at us. He says, maybe you should talk about the issues we came here for.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So, down to the issues. Shame on us for talking about health and wellness.
What issues do you want us to?
In the title, I talked about the banks prepping right now, and that maybe we should be too. And so, kind of my thoughts on that were that Bix has been really sounding a warning. Uncle Cliff was on the other night with JC and Snippy and talking about like we are here. The time is now. $100,000 Bitcoin this Christmas, but it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be because the dollar's dead, and the things leading up to that we can see the bank failures coming. I think it was this morning that Bix talked about the JP Morgan Chase buying physical silver to cover their shorts in, I think it was 14.2 billion, not million, right? And then all the banks going long on paper silver because they know this price is about to go crazy. So it was kind of that, all these things coming right now, and that prediction coming fast. I think it was this video. Remember that $600 prediction that Uncle Cliff had, that silver would go first, but that it wouldn't be a pretty sight, that it would be some tough times.
Well, that's always what we're told, that you don't want to live in the world with $600 silver.
Thank you, John. He says, not mad, just tapping fingers. Okay. That's sweet.
We won't. No more health tips or advice.
We'll do that another show.
I'll keep that to myself. Yeah, I saw that video with Jean-Claude and Jay Snip and Uncle
it was a good
Cliff, and they were talking about how the dollar is going to go to parity with like the Chinese yuan. And right now it's 7-1, so that's a big decline in the purchasing power of the dollar. I don't know if I see that much drop off. I see a drop off in all fiat currencies. I think the Chinese currency is also really weak, and they've so I could see the dollar losing a lot of purchasing power, but the Chinese currency will also be losing a lot of purchasing power. They have the whole issue with Evergreen right now. They're having to inject crazy money into their system. The only thing they have less than us is they have a lot less national debt. But even if you look at supposed gold reserves, like we supposedly have a lot more gold than they have, even though they say they're accumulating all the time. So I don't know if I would see parity with the Chinese currency, but either way, you should be accumulating hard assets right now. I think the reason that they're pulling out the COVID talk again is to distract us.
I agree.
Remember, every empire, as it fails, they need the peasants and the normies and the masses to argue and fight. So they want us fighting with each other. They know that by pulling out these COVID restrictions again, there is going to be extreme resistance this time around, extreme resistance. There's going to be violence. There's going to be people walking into places and they'll punch someone in the face because they were like put on a mask. There's going to be carnage and chaos, but that's what they want. They want that. They want us fighting about that so they could roll out a new currency, do different things to us. Remember, there's consumer debts at an all-time high. Mortgage rates are going to hit 8% by the end of on a 30-year mortgage.
Crazy.
And the crazy thing is the housing prices of residential real estate still haven't really fell much yet.
Right, but that's all been really manipulated because BlackRock and Vanguard? I can't remember the name of the other huge commercial thing that they own the majority of the property, and they've basically just been swapping titles to keep the prices of homes and property inflated in a false way. So they're keeping these properties inflated so that their books look good, but that's totally a fake number, So this is all so manipulated. Back to, I want to touch on a couple of points that you brought up. When you were saying, I don't see the 7-1, and China is losing part of their power too. I did a video on the Very Dow channel with Reggie, and where the mainstream media and everybody's doing this panic, the dollar's dying. He, is one of the best financial analysts and has called, the Bear Stearns thing. He made all these amazing calls in the past, and is just brilliant mind. And he just went and looked and adjusted it for the inflation. And he said the market that's losing the most is like the UK, and I think that lost the most GDP out of this whole failure and all that, and that the US dollar is not really losing that much power. And as far as BRICS being a threat, it's not. It's nowhere near a threat to the US dollar when you look at it with the proper inflation applied to it. So if you guys are curious, go watch that on the Very Dow channel. He explains it much better than I do. That really was like, oh, they present, when they always say, like, you can make stats look any way you want. They present one set of research to you that, oh, panic, this is happening. But then when you get someone with a mind like Reggie's around it, what's really happening? They're telling you one story, but this is what's really happening.
I would definitely be accumulating hard assets. So
yeah, either way,
you definitely want to be preparing, and you definitely want to be accumulating Bitcoin right now. And you want to accumulate Bitcoin before this ETF approval. Now, we've talked about it. We don't care about the ETF. I personally don't give a crap about a Bitcoin ETF, but it does bring a ton of demand into Bitcoin. It does legitimize Bitcoin to the mass investing world, the Wall Street world. It really puts Bitcoin, it gives it its place at the table, I guess, it would be like the wording or phrase. There's no more people saying after they owe Bitcoin to this. I don't know, has an ETF. If you want to buy the Bitcoin ETF and your company wants to buy it, or your trust or your endowment, do it. If I want to buy the raw asset and hold the private keys and store it that way, let me do it. As far as I'm concerned, it's a freedom thing, but
you may not be able to, though, in the future. You may only be able to buy it through the ETF.
100%. So you want to be accumulating while you can and get your assets in your own possession while you can. You're 100% right, Lisa. There'll be a time when you won't be able to take possession of the asset itself. Now, they'll roll it out in a way where they're doing it to protect the public because it's too risky. And unless you're like an accredited investor, you won't be able to do it. They'll pull some stuff out like that. And they'll get the masses to go along with it because they've put all this stuff in the news. So people are like, oh, yeah, like, who's that company that got in trouble? Oh, yeah, this scam. So they have the normies tricked about Bitcoin and crypto. So they'll get the public support for it. But you definitely
doesn't this remind you of when Nixon closed the gold window or the silver window, whatever it was called? Okay, when they made gold illegal, they made everybody turn it in or whatever.
That was in 30. That was in 19.
Okay, not Nixon. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. They dumped Roosevelt, the price of it first, right? Yep. Roosevelt. Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry. They dumped the price of it first so that the individuals lost money on it. Think about what's happening right now with Bitcoin and it going down. They dump the price of it. Then they make it illegal for you to own. Then they grab it up. I heard I think it was yesterday or this morning, that the U.S. owns the the U.S. government owns the 5th largest Bitcoin wallet. Okay. Then they gobble it up. And that's just the one we know about.
What about that Satoshi wallet, the first million coins?
Right. Who has that?
Who has that? Who has that?
Then, and all the Mt. Gox.
I heard anyway. that guy from Russia that they just killed, that guy Prigozhin.
Prigozhin.
Largest, or one of the but you're right about the gold thing in the 30s. They the price, they had the public turn in, I think it was $21.67 or 21 something. Then they repriced gold to $35 after everybody turned it in.
So if that is something that's happening right now with Bitcoin, then the ETF gets released. Now you can buy it, but only through the ETF. So it's like buying paper gold. Like you don't really have it in your possession. You have it through the ETF. You have ETF Bitcoin. You don't really have Bitcoin in your
And that'll be bullish for the price, bearish for freedom.
Right.
And that's how I look at it.
That's what the theys want.
It's super bullish for the price. The theys, once they have everything in place, they want the price to go up. That's going to bring a lot of.
I mean, that's like having an online girlfriend, though. That's great. You're never going to kiss her. I mean,
through that screen, you will.
You can imagine it all you want.
Right. It's, it'll definitely pump the price up. But again, they'll have the, especially when they roll out their CBDC, they'll have the strings attached with how you can access it. Oh, if you're bad, if you did this, well, you can't. You don't have access to your Bitcoin ETF anymore.
Right.
I would say that's a good few years off before they'd make it where the public can't buy Bitcoin or secure the asset itself. I think because they may do it with a lot of cryptos. They'd have a hard time doing it with Bitcoin, I feel like, because even today, I think they ruled Bitcoin and Ethereum commodities, or there was something that came out that they're considered commodities. So I know that there was some ruling where Bitcoin is considered free speech, which is protected under the First.
Today?
That wasn't today. That was a while back. But today there was something about Bitcoin and ETH being ruled commodities.
Oh my goodness.
And the price is dumping. Go figure.
And the price is dumping on that? That makes no sense.
I don't see it in my thing. I like the tweet from that Tiffany Gomez girl, lady on the plane. It was one that I was looking at my likes. Which, do you know about that girl? I feel like that's a.
I don't know
who's behind her. I know I don't want to get too off track, but that seemed to me to be like kind of a setup as well.
There's been a lot of kind of setups. Here's the news about the New York court classifies popular cryptocurrencies, ETH and Bitcoin as commodities.
Okay, there you go.
So
there you go.
That's a court doing that.
You just want to keep accumulating up until this ETF. I mean, I've heard that guy Tom Lee was on CNBC. He said he calls it the clearing price, and I don't know why he's calling it the clearing price. I guess that's the price to, I guess take the asset in your own possession. And his thing is that the daily demand will outpace the supply with the approval of a spot ETF. That will bring a lot of demand into buying Bitcoin. And then, at least with Bitcoin and the blockchain, we can validate and verify that they actually have the coins, that they bought it. You can't do that with silver and gold. That's why they're able to throw the price around there so much. And someone asked me, which a lot of people don't understand, they said, how does the price move up and down? That's even a foreign concept to a lot of people. And how it moves up and down is, Bitcoin trades on exchanges all over the globe 24/7, 365. So you have a certain amount being sold on an exchange. If everybody keeps buying up everything that is on that exchange, the price is going to go way up on that exchange. Now, the price is a weighted average of certain exchanges around the world, usually the quoted price that we see. So if something like that happened, and say Bitcoin's trading at 26,000, and all of a sudden it's on one exchange, it could be trading at $35,000 in one exchange. Well, that's going to present an arbitrage opportunity, and people are going to be buying it on a different exchange and selling it on that exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll drop the price right back down. So that's that's how the price moves up and down. And the key thing is with Bitcoin, you could take possession of the asset right away. You can buy from that exchange, send out, buy from that exchange, send out, buy from that exchange and send out. So it's actually, it's kind of a truer market than most assets, I'd say, because of the fact that you could take possession of it. Look at stocks. They trade on one exchange. If you think
about
millions
of bots and millions,
how does that keep things fair? Oh, it's on the NASDAQ. Okay, that's cool, but why no other exchange sells it? So crypto, it's the fact that it's traded on exchanges all over the world, I feel like keeps everyone a little more honest.
And, that's a great point.
Yeah. Now, they manipulate the price with the news cycle. People are so addicted to news, and knowingly, even that it's fake, they don't care. Somebody did a tweet recently. They said it's kind of like pro wrestling. Even though you know it's fake, you watch it anyways. Still watch it. And that's kind of the same thing with the news. Even though you know it's fake, you'll watch it. And we watch alternative stuff, but the masses watch it, and well,
Charlie and I today went into a store and he's like, oh, Jesus Christ, he's all mad because the two employees standing in there, it was a little hobby shop. I was trying to find something for this little thing I got, and I was trying to repair it before I sold it. And they're wearing masks. And I was like, I thought everybody figured this out by now. I didn't think this was going to happen again. And so then we're walking around, and I'm just so irritated by that. I forgot why I'm even in here. And then I'm like, just forget it. And we just turned around and left. And I told him, I said, you know what, instead of us being upset or whatever, I said, if you walk in and you see that, you just need to say, I don't support this lie that has been perpetrated on America and the rest of the world. And I will not support any businesses that are going to be a part of this, and turn around and walk out. But make that statement and then leave. Make a Bud Light or a Budweiser out of them. Do not spend your money there. Do not participate in that. Do not be part of that lie.
I've been seeing a lot more masks in the last week, and it's definitely because of the news, and people just, it doesn't matter what you present people with. Their news tells them that, and their celebrity that they follow tells them that, then that's their truth. That's their reality.
Some people need to be recycled.
We got to look at it as we're fortunate to see through that, see past it, see around it. And I guess I got past the point of waking most people up, because it's like a lot of people, it's so hard to get through their thick skull. And it's like they're so willing to hand over their freedom that it's like the people that are into freedom and are into this stuff, I want to focus my energy on them rather than the sheep that are out there, the sheeple that are out there. They're going to be, that's just how they're wired. And
Johnny, there is a group of people that complied last time that are now the new pissed off. And there are those of us that didn't last time that are like, oh, we just don't even have energy to deal with that this time around. But I think our job this time is to support the ones that are because the ones now, like I talked to some people the other day that complied last time, they are like super angry, outraged, violent. They've had personal injuries, physical loss of, life, lost jobs, they've had tremendous loss in their life because they did comply. And they're like, wait a minute, I did the thing you told me to do and I lost anyway and exponentially. And now you want me to do it again. And they are just enraged. And that's the group that I think those of us that got it last time, we can maybe get around those people and be like, okay, look, we've actually all been lied to for a really long time. And let's stand together and say no and focus your energy in the right way. Yeah.
Focus your energy on those people. Again, those people, they came to our side. Great. So it's kind of like, let's look at it like a tennis match. Okay, here's our side of the net. If you want to come on this side of the net, we'll show you what to do. We can't keep going on that side of the net. And I'm like that in crypto as well. Like if you think, you want to give up all your freedom and do all this stuff and think the bank's great and the dollar's always going to be around and you trust all this stuff, then I can't even talk to you about crypto because you probably still think the dollar is backed by gold. I mean, there's people that tell me, oh, well, I can go to my bank and they'll give me gold for my dollars. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yep. And I'm like,
lost your mind.
And a lot of people still think that. So it's you just got to focus on the people that are ready to absorb it. And it's, I think Uncle Cliff talked about in that video. He said it's hard to talk to people about crypto and Bitcoin because you don't know where they're at.
Yes, he did say that.
And you have to give people a background. You can't just get into Bitcoin and people are like, well, what? That's stupid. Why do I need that? How's that different than PayPal or this? You have to kind of give them the backstory at least. They have to know about gold, know about silver, know about debt. There's a lot of stuff to know to get up to even hear about Bitcoin. And most people don't have that attention to listen to all that. So it's a very, it is a very hard thing. But for those of you guys that are out there, keep preparing, definitely keep accumulating Bitcoin. I would keep accumulating Bitcoin, gold, and silver. I mean, those are your three things right now. Those, Litecoin's undervalued. I'd accumulate some Litecoin as well. But I would definitely be accumulating Bitcoin right now, leading into this ETF approval. And that's with the halving coming up next year. I definitely see a bullish time ahead for Bitcoin. Silver, the only thing that scares me about silver is, and this is why I would never advocate for somebody to own just silver and no gold, is because every country on the face of this earth has the incentive to manipulate the price of silver and keep it low because they all need the technology. They all need the smartphones. They all need the solar panel. They all need the EVs. They need all this stuff, right? Gold, a lot of countries have the incentive to pump the price up because gold's a tier 1 asset and they're holding gold. So they don't care if the gold price goes up. It's good for them if the price of gold goes up. Like it's good for the U.S. if the price of gold goes up. But if the price of silver goes up, it's bad. So I would, even though it makes sense if you look at it logically, and if we were in freely traded markets, yes, silver's more undervalued than gold. But there is that case of having some, I feel you want to have both ultimately.
Right.
But definitely, I see way more upside in Bitcoin compared to all three assets right now because of two main drivers right now is the halving and the ETF approval. Krista said, what is a good exchange to use for BTC purchases? So personally, right now, I would think if you're buying through your phone in the US, I would just buy through Venmo or PayPal. That is the least chance of, they're not going to go down. In other words, other exchanges, I would be worried if something happened. PayPal doesn't have that much, or Venmo, they don't have that much, and Venmo is owned by PayPal. crypto is just a part of their business.
Right.
So that would be why, not that I think, oh, not
Interesting.
that they're great and all that, but that's what I would probably do right now as a first choice. It's just a safe choice. People love that Caleb and Brown that Bitcoin Ben talks about.
I would not use them personally, just because they're in Australia, which I love people in Australia. Don't get me wrong. I have some friends there, but you have no recourse if something were to go wrong. So I would definitely recommend using Will and Gus in at Perpetual Assets. That's just my personal opinion for that reason.
Right. And that's what scares me also too about Caleb and Brown. They're in, John, you can pull your cryptos from PayPal or Venmo. You can withdraw from both apps now and send to a private wallet. It's probably like the same thing as Coinbase, where you have to wait for your money to clear or whatever. You have to wait a few days, but you can withdraw them. Yeah, Lisa, I'm with you. That is what scared me about Caleb and Brown as well.
They may be really great people, very trustworthy, all that. I'm just saying.
But also, Australia is a really authoritarian country. I mean, Australia is the bad guys. They're not that people from Australia are bad. Their government's bad. So that there could be a crackdown there. Offices could get raided. You don't never know. Yeah. You just don't know. So it has changed, John. So just
it used to be that you couldn't pull. He's right. Originally you could not take cryptos off.
Now you can. Now you can. So
one more thing before you go. I know you got to run, and I can smell dinner. My husband's cooking for me right now. This I think is very interesting, and I wondered if Trump had led the people, like when I saw Giuliani taking mugshots with Trump at the same day. And I'd heard some other people that there were like, we weren't sure if they were on the good side, the bad side, whatever. Because Giuliani's responsible for getting rid of all the 9/11 debris quickly. And we think that, or there are rumors that he may have removed what was underneath the towers as well and got that right over to China right away. Or wherever it needed to go. And this is a motion to separate Trump's case from the other people's case. And I wonder if he just walked them into a trap and made them, oh, come on, come stand with me and we'll all get arrested together and we'll take these epic photos. Because if you look at which people have been talking about how the mugshot, like the sheriff badge looked different on his picture. The lighting looked different on his picture than some of the others. All this, I mean, just everybody hold everything kind of lightly right now, and watch what's happening in front of you, because it's an incredible story that we're living through. It's going to be really interesting to see how it all ends. I don't know.
Very good advice.
We get to be a part of it.
Be ready for anything and accumulate your hard assets.
That's right. Thanks, Johnny. Great to see you again. Have a great week. You guys, I'm going to be doing a live Patreon. I'm going to go eat first, but and then I got a meeting with I'm going to try to sneak it in here. I'll try to sneak it in here before dinner, I guess. But I'll be jumping on Patreon tonight. Maybe I'll do it later tonight for Patreon. And then we've got happy hour tomorrow. And I've got a treat for you guys. We'll have a live auction item that'll run all week just for you guys. So take care. See you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.